Perhaps the story of St. Peter's by the Sea should begin with those summer afternoon meetings on Indian Rock led by Mr. Joseph H. Dulles, one of the earliest summer visitors to Narragansett. He was the great-grandfather of past Secretary of State John Foster Dulles. Starting in summer of 1852, these meetings continued during the summer months until about 1856. By then the group had become much larger and attracted several people who held meetings almost every Sunday at homes or in local hotel rooms. Although the activities diminished somewhat in the years of the Civil War,
they began to grow strong again under the leadership of Reverend Samuel B. Kelly, the pastor of the Church of Ascension in Wakefield.
The Reverend Kelly, then conducting services both at Wakefield and the pier in 1867, suggested the erection of a permanent Episcopal church in Narragansett. The idea took root, and on Saturday, August 25th, 1861, at a meeting held at the home of Captain William E. H. Whaley, there was organized a board of trustees for the purpose of erecting and maintaining an Episcopal church at Narragansett Pier. These trustees chosen to carry out the project were Reverend Samuel Kelly, Reverend Francis Wharton, Reverend William Babcock, Reverend G.S. Converse, Charles E. Boone, William G. Caswell, Adamore Robson, and John N. Taylor. At a meeting of the trustees held shortly after the Reverend Kelly's reported message that an appeal for funds to erect the church had been most gratifying, more than $2,500 had been raised in a short time, and that Kate Chase Sprague had been placed at his disposal at a bank to cover any deficit. A church building now being assured, the committee was appointed to procure a site. They reported that a lot had been offered as a free gift by Mr. Elijah Watson of Wakefield, with the provision that there should be no burying ground on the church property. Mr. Watson's offer was immediately accepted, and the contract let for the construction of a frame church to seat at least 300 people. This was soon completed and opened for worship in July 11th, 1869, with the name of St. Peter's Chapel of South Kingstown, Rhode Island, a name probably taken from the Episcopal group at Kingston Hill, which had joined the Church of Ascension in Wakefield about 1840. The cost of the new church was $4,000. The church was perhaps the shortest of any on record, as on September 8th, 1869, in what was always known as the September Gale, the new building leveled to the ground and converted into a heap of ruins. Several buildings under construction at the pier, including one large hotel, were blown down in the same storm. Undaunted by this catastrophe, the trustees met the following day at the ruins and decided immediately to begin the building of a new church, this time to be of stone. The sum of $1,400 was raised towards a new building before the stone of meeting the immediate plans were drawn out by the construction of a new edifice, which became Peter's by the Sea. Meetings during the following 3 years were held in Canonchet Hall. The summer residents were most generous in giving towards the new church. Combined with the tireless devotion of the church members and board of trustees, sufficient money was maintained to carry the work forward, so that by the summer of 1873, a new building was ready for use. The dedication, with elaborate ceremony, took place on June 29th, 1873. A year later, August 30th, 1874, St. Peter's by the Sea was consecrated by Bishop Clark, and at the Diocesan Convention of 1875, St. Peter's Chapel of South Kingstown, RI, was admitted to the convention as an independent parish. In summer of 1876, Reverend H. Charles Bixby became the first permanent pastor, supplying both St. Peter's and the Church of Ascension in Wakefield. In 1879, a rectory was built on the land adjoining the church. The same year, a fine pipe organ was installed and the porch entrance added, both gifts of Miss Howard Lapsley. Some years later, it became evident that the church had become too small for the growing congregation, and plans were made for its enlargement and the addition of the tower and belfry. Funds soon became available for the construction of the transept. The tower and belfry were given by Miss Samuel Welsh of Philadelphia in memory of her late husband. These additions were completed by 1894, making the church practically as it is today. In the late 1890s, Reverend W. H. B. Allen came to hold the longest rectorship in the church's history, almost 40 years, until his retirement in 1936. Reverend Allen soon sensed the need of parish house for the activities of various church organizations. By his efforts and generous help, among others, of Mr. H. John Hannon, Mr. R. G. Dunn, Miss R. G. Dunn, and Miss Wencallo Borda, the 3-large-story parish house was erected beside the church. This building, throughout the years, has served for not only the activities of church societies, but in many other organizations in Narragansett as well. In the church are beautiful memorial windows, to mention especially one. In the church are several beautiful memorial windows, to mention especially one by the memory of Winnie Davis, the daughter of the Confederacy, who, with her mother, for many summers worshipped at St. Peter's. Miss Davis died at Rockingham Hotel in Narragansett in 1898. There is also a bronze relief set in the west wall cast by the daughter of nationality, known sculptor Florence Kane. This is flanked by 2 Kane memorial windows in memory of Henry Brevoort Kane, her father, and longtime member of the Board of Trustees. Throughout the years, St. Peter's by the Sea has seen many well-known persons and national figures, as well as summer visitors and cottagers in Narragansett, worship in its pews. By the devoted interest of its rectors, its active and efficient women's auxiliary, and altar and St. Agnes Guild and church members, St. Peter's has always shared a large place in the religious and social life in Narragansett.